Oh goodness me, a review of the Big 26! Christmas came early! Now, Super Smells Sonic was a very good episode. Dare I say it, I gotta give it a 10 out of 10 ranking, which not even Ichigo vs. Yusuke got, so I suppose if I ever get to reviewing that episode in about 5 centuries. Now, obviously, going to this episode, I was already very hyped for it. I find Super Smells Sonic a very overhated matchup from the start, and was super ecstatic when I saw the episode being announced after Ichigo vs. Yusuke. This also being the last Devil Artemis episode that we know of is also a very nice send-up to the animator after the community made the two lead from Fierce Backlash. Thanks, twats. You're why we can't get anything good in this community. But yeah, we're gonna review this episode. If the fucking title didn't give it away. Starting off, the analysis was really good. So, it did take like good 2 minutes to even get a name drop, which I will never not find funny. But in general, the analysis did a really good job at not only showing the origins of both characters, but how they connect, with both being made by mad scientists as a perfect copy to the main hero, eventually getting a high level of insights in the process and eventually going against their own programs as a result, mainly with Cell overcoming Jiro's grudge, and Metal Sonic overthrowing Eggman and deluding himself to thinking he's the actual Sonic, before being overcome by not being able to replicate the one thing that made them so unbeatable in the first place. It also lets you know about the powers and how much stuff that they copied from other characters in the series. From regular stuff like copying Goku and Sonic, to other stuff like freezing alien genes or, is that Sonic Adventure 2 footage? Chaos Bind comes closest to being real every single day. It also puts into Mel's existential crisis shockingly well, and also much earlier than I thought. Normally for a death battle analysis, stuff like that is saved for the end. But here, they got it done super fast and out of the way, and definitely adds more to his character than just, I hate when I die, you blue fuck. Now, but the absolute key that is, the fight. Dear God, it was so awesome. The fight actually has a lot of cool shit I want to talk about, but to begin, the animation was amazing for Devil Artemis, along with his voice work as both Metal Sonic and Cell. It makes sense with this matchup for him as he is primarily the guy animating Cell usually, which in turn leads to be the person for this kind of matchup. There's also some stuff on Mora's side of the animation, which is pretty easy to tell for me, since I watched the show. Obviously, you know what kind of animation Mora has. You dumbass. One thing I liked is how the matchup at first portrayed Cell as the one with the advantage thanks to the cells of the other Seafires, and Frieza, obviously. Is Frieza a Seafire? I don't know Dragon Ball Z at all. Culminating in the scene where Cell throws Little Planet at Metal, which he blocks just fine. But Frieza's Cell could just push Little Planet into him further, leading to the scene of him emerging from the fire while his other forms are showing up beforehand, which is genuinely fire. This leads me to talk about the dialogue. Jesus Christ, whoever could the dialogue with this fight, keep them in the kitchen. The amount of banker lines in this one episode is genuinely insane. Speaking of this scene, Cell saying he's the ultimate life form, only for Mel to say you aren't him by saying he already possesses his data to use Chaos Control on Cell's ass is so good. Speaking of, the part where Cell asks if Mel's ever experienced fear before, only for Metal to clap back with, not anymore, a line that directly links back to Mel Overlord, it's generally just so peak. The line delivery by Devil Artemis is also generally some of the best stuff I've seen on the show. Since I haven't mentioned either of these lines, I'll just let us play the video.
I know. Now I know everything about you, insect. I'll never lose to a machine like...
The line may have been cut off, but all to do with saving up his anger in that line. Oh yeah, also, I don't agree with the fact that most of the lines are just references. Being entirely generous, I only think like 2 of those can like be factored into that, and that's both the beginning line from Mel and the final line from Mel. Can you tell I don't agree with it? Which brings me to the moment of the fight where Metal Sonic copies all of Cell's abilities, which is where we see him taking up the advantage. This is also shown in the track Metal as Cell. This track took a bit for me to get used to since I was expecting a full-on rock track, but nowadays I think this is one of my favorite. This is one of my favorite tracks. I can't speak. Jesus Christ! I guess the vibe of the fight done well. The first half is techno, more calm and generally pretty mellow and threatening, which is fitting as it's the part where Cell has more control of the fight. The second half is when the fight gives Mel the advantage after he copies Cell's abilities. They give a more rock and Sonic inspired track, which is generally more upbeat, and right at the end taking inspiration from what I'm made of from Sonic Heroes, as shown here. In general, I think the song is a banger, and Beowulf genuinely cooked with it. With that out of the way, the power Neo Metal transforms into Super is one of the most hyped scenes in Death Battle, leading to the positive fight that I think are bona fide cinema. Cell's Miguel Soul Jr. is only for Cell. Am I fucking stupid? I put that in the script. Oh my god, I'm dense. Cell's Miguel Soul Jr. is only for Metal to mimic by summoning smaller versions of Metal Sonic is a really neat trait of abilities. And I just love Cell's reaction to the Shin Kiko Ho. Please tell me if I pronounced that wrong. Oh fuck, no, this episode's really gonna stun lock my ass again. Only before being stun locked down into the Cell arena. But this leads to undoubtedly the most I've ever been for a Death Battle this year. Maybe even ever, surpassing Bowser. Ignore the comments there. This is one of the few moments where I actively screamed along with the combatants. Oh my god, the scene was so good. The energy and the music was all up in the air as we saw Cell channel the energy of the Sea Fires into one attack before overcoming Metal Sonic's power.
If you are all of them, then so am I. I'll never lose to a machine like... I'll crush you!
Dear God, this was so goddamn fire. The animation, the voice acting, the creative abilities, the music, the hype, it was all so good. Generally one of the best Death Battles as of recent. It cannot be put into words how good this fight was. The conclusion was also pretty neat, and actually went in another direction that I thought was pretty neat. It did go against my prediction of thinking Metal Sonic would utterly dominate Cell even in base, as Death Battle explained why it would take Metal Sonic until overall to even the strength gap, as well as giving Cell speed via finite ends, since infinite speed was pretty much applicable to both, with the ultimate thing coming down to being their abilities and adaptation powers. And while both were even in abilities and adaptation, the big thing that made Metal Sonic win was that Metal Sonic could copy Cell's abilities just fine, but Cell couldn't copy any of Metal's abilities since he wasn't a life form he could copy, as shown with Android 16 in the Dragon Ball series. It also goes into extra stuff like how Chaos Emeralds have an energy source that lets him copy key techniques. It's just generally very well researched and very descriptive for a matchup everyone thought was going to be a stomp going into it. And overall, it was a very good send-up to Devil Artemis' animation for the show. I genuinely wish the dude the best going forward, and he didn't deserve all the hate from the community over things that were not even his fault to begin with. But next time, maybe I want to question my will to live and decide that living is not big enough for me to continue living. Being entirely honest with you, no more funny Jupiter. Serious Jupiter has taken over for a second. But I think the whole algorithm-based focus that Devil has been doing recently has been kind of hurting my feelings in the long run. Hurt my feelings, wow, oh my god, I sound so fucking corny. But like, the previous house being really generic, the amount of Gen Alpha sign that we've been seeing recently, and this match's general existence being used, especially when we're told, oh yeah, these MSs are being considered for an episode, but then Bakugo, who didn't even get the top 16, beat the winner that the fans fought long and hard for a matchup on the show that only spawned like 4 months before in advance. It genuinely feels like Death Battle did it for the money, as opposed to pure, oh hey, this match is cool. And honestly, a slap in the face for the efforts made on Champions Island. Obviously, I don't think the episode will be bad, and that might spitballing a bunch here. No fucking shit. But for all I know, I could be entirely wrong and I'll be as happy as anyone could be. On good days. Either way, I enjoyed this episode and can't wait for the waiting period to be over. I already think that this episode's leading up to the worst waiting period. As much as I love the male copying the biodata memes that I've been seeing, the sign that I've been seeing for this waiting period makes me question my will to live. British man's life form data. Successfully copied. I'm the one copying you. Copy mode activate! What the fuck?